All right, so the Utah Jazz are making massive progress right now in their rebuild. Not only did they pick up Ace Bailey, who in my opinion is the second best player of the 2025 draft class, but last year they had an amazing rookie year showing from Isaiah Collier, who in my opinion is going to be one of the better playmakers in the NBA within the next 5 seasons. He even broke a record in his rookie year and had the most rookie season total assist in Utah Jazz franchise history, breaking none other than John Stockton's record. Now, to be completely fair, John Stockton played less minutes per game than Isaiah Collier did, but still, whenever you have a feat quite like this, it's really impressive to see. And whenever we talk about Collier's playmaking, it's not just the fact that he's making great passes and that he's averaging a decent amount of assists. When you watch him play and you really rewind and look at the tape, it's how precise of a playmaker he really is, especially in ball screen and pick and roll scenarios. I don't think we saw a rookie, and you guys can let me know in the comments, who was this precise and this advanced in just year one when it came to orchestrating a pick and roll offense. It's not just him coming off of screens and hitting rollers like Walker Kessler or Kyle Filipowski, but it's also him reading off-ball defenders and maybe being able to find shooters out on the perimeter and setting guys up from there. Just the reads he was making and the decisions he was making in the pick and roll, it really lets you know that he's going to be one of the most elite pick and roll orchestrators in the entire league for years to come. I had a really wild comparison, and it's really early on in his career, and I don't like doing this all the time, but as far as like what he's doing in pick and roll situations, I do see some flashes of Chris Paul and how good he has been at that through the course of his career. Reading pick and rolls and making decisions out of pick and rolls is a chess game, and it's a skill that not every point guard is advanced in. But when you look at Collier, especially as a young, early stage point guard, you can really see that he's going to be one of the better screen and roll orchestrators in this game. And again, I do see him reaching a Chris Paul level of advanced when it comes to being able to be effective in the pick and roll. There are a lot of very similar attributes they have when it comes to that. Reading off-ball defenders, being able to hit guys on the roll, whether he's making these lob passes at the rim or these thread the needle passes. He's just going to continue to get better at that as his career goes on. And right now, again, he's just so advanced at that particular aspect of playmaking. I also love his transition passing as well. There was a play a few nights ago where the Jazz were playing someone in the Summer League circuit, I forgot who it was, where he gets the ball up court, full court, coming off of a press and lobs it perfectly up the rim, perfectly timed up to the rim for Ace Bailey. So again, it's not just the half court stuff. It's not just the pick and roll stuff. And obviously that's important because this is a pick and roll centric league, but it's also his ability to make decisions in transition scenario. So not only is he a great playmaker in half court situations, but he's a great all-around playmaker in general. Now, there are 100% some things that he just has to sharpen up on. He was not efficient at all in his rookie season. I believe he was around the low 40s from a shooting percentage standpoint in year one and was in the 20s when it came to shooting from the three-point line. And there wasn't really one area from the floor that he dominated. When you look at his shot chart, even when he was able to get at the rim, which was a good majority of his shot attempts, he was around 55% in that area, which is worse than 62% of players in the league. Also, the free throw percentage just was not all that. So I think while he is an amazing playmaker, and while that is an amazing attribute to have, and he has shown some flashes of being able to get to the basket and finish around defenders, the biggest thing for him is just finding his spots on the offensive end. We're not asking him to be an elite level three-point shooter in year two, right? And that may not be a possibility for him over the next couple of seasons. He may not ever be an elite level three-point shooter, but just finding a spot, whether it's the mid-range area, whether it's at the rim, finding a spot to be effective at as a scorer, I think is the biggest thing for him to master headed into what can be a massive year two for him. But when you have a young player with advanced playmaking chops quite like this in just his first year going into his second, this shows you as a franchise, this is a point guard you should invest heavily in throughout your rebuild. So they've been solid over the last couple of years through the draft with picking up Collier, and then also just this summer picking up Ace Bailey. Hopefully they can continue to develop well over the years, and hopefully Collier can continue to fill out his game, especially offensively, and just find spots to dominate on the floor. But I think they're in a really, really good position right now as far as their rebuild goes, and that's in a massive contrast to where people thought they were going into last season. I think this franchise is in a much better place than they just were.